Alright, using our foldable, we are going to work on first the tip one. And so you will open it up and you'll write on the right below the question, on the question, and then this free space right here. I'm going to use this bigger piece of paper just for recording purposes. So the first thing says, a small amount of money will you give to someone or service in addition to amount being charged. So that's like when you tip at a restaurant or any other service like that. So the question, you buy $16 worth of food at a restaurant. You wish to tip 10%. How much will the tip be? Well, the first important thing to do is figure out what is the question asking. How much will the tip be? So how much tip? Now, you have to decide, is the tip part or whole, and the tip is a part. And that's really important to understand what is being asked when answering your questions, because sometimes we forget. So because it's a percent problem, we set up our proportion, line equals sign line, 100. We also know that percent is the only thing that can go out of 100, because percent is per 100. Now, it tells us that the tip is 10%. So we want to label tip with our percent, because percent only tells us what type of number. It doesn't tell us the content of the problem. Well, because tip is our label on our far right, it also is our label on the left, just like when we work with proportions. Well, then we have to think, okay, well, what's our label on the bottom? Remember, the bottom is always the whole. So what is the whole that we're talking about in this problem? Where our whole is the $16 worth of food. So our whole is also our bill, I guess you could say, which is our $16. Our percent is 10%, and we don't know our tip, so that's our N. So we've got our proportion beautifully set up. Now we just need to solve it. So to solve our proportion, we're going to cross multiply, and then we're going to divide by the 100. So we have 16 times 10 is equal to, when I do my other one, 100 divided by, or times N. Well, 16 times 10 is 160, which equals 100N. Now, a lot of you get confused when you see it like this, but this is the algebraic way to solve it. But just remember, it's the same thing as saying, I'm multiplying these two and dividing by what's within. Now, the goal is to find what N is, to get it all by itself. So I'm going to divide by 100. Because they're multiplying, the inverse is divide. They equal 1. 100 divided by 100 equals 1, or 1N. So now I have to do 160 divided by 100. So 160 divided by 100. Well, it doesn't go into 1. It doesn't go into 16. But it'll go into 160 one time. 1 times 100 is 100. When I subtract it, I get 60. Now this was a point of confusion for a lot of people the last couple of days. There's no more numbers, and so you're like, oh, the remainder is 60. Well, we're in 7th grade and we don't have remainders. So we add a decimal, make sure you put on both the top and the bottom, and a 0. Now you can bring that 0 down, which is very hard to see. Sorry about that. So 100 goes into 600 6 times. So 6 times 100, 600. When I subtract, I get 0. Now I'm really done. So when I did my division for this answer right here, I get 1 6/10. Yay, I'm done. Wait a minute. Let's go and read the question. How much will the tip be? 1.6. Remember, tip is money. So in money, this is $1.60 is our tip. You always want to read the question to make sure you've answered the correct question. Thank you.